Dwayne Coates is a really talented young freelance winemaker who works largely in South Australia, and he makes wines for people who have vineyards here or there, giving him the opportunity to buy a little bit of his favourite fruit from different districts, and he can have a portfolio like this which is sort of broad in its geographical scale, as many bigger companies have. This first wine is from Clare, but the grape itself, Sangiovese, the blood of San Jove, or God's blood, is of course an Italian grape from Tuscany. And this is from the cool Clare Hills, which looks a bit like Italy, but not as much grappa. I'll never forget a smell from my childhood, which was getting off the school bus and coming into the country kitchen and smelling that incredible smell when Mum was preparing chickens. The smell of feathers, dust, a little bit of gizzard and all that pink flesh. To me, Sangiovese smells more like that than the blood of God. There's blackberries too, and that really alluring, sort of faintly ozone, sparky smell as if lightning had just struck the blackberry bushes. You know that smell. It's delightful, medium-bodied, elegant, clean, more refreshing wine than most of our red wines. It's exemplary Sangiovese, check it out. Now, we all know that Bordeaux is on the edge of the Atlantic Ocean. It may be surprising that in Australia, on the edge of the Southern Ocean, at Robe, we are growing Bordeaux varieties, like this example of Malbec. Malbec is rare as a straight varietal in Australia. It grows particularly well in Clare, and we know it grows perfectly well in Franklin in Western Australia, right down in the southwestern corner. So it's really interesting to see one from Robe, which is a pretty new district, but very, very popular amongst the big grape buyers. This smells really alluringly of beetroot, almost like borscht, that beautiful red fresh spring soup that you put a bit of yogurt in. I mean, it's got all the black fruits, of course. It smells a little bit figgy as well, but that lovely smell of almost just slightly cooked beetroot is predominant, and I think it's terrific. It's slightly fuller bodied than the Sangiovese, which you would expect. It's a little bit more tannic. So to me, this is more savoury. I want it with bigger foods. Duck, for example. Perfect duck wine. Once again, I always love the wine that makes me hungry. The third wine is another proposition again. This is made from a really rare grape for Australia. It's called Touriga Nacional. It comes from Portugal, where they use it to make vintage port. This example comes from a vineyard of Peter and Vicky Widdop at Langhorne Creek. Now, this isn't vintage port. This has been made to be a dry wine, table wine. So just thinking about that, you would expect it to have a bit more character than like a Pinot Noir, and it certainly does. It has all those lovely, I call it the smell of Zorro, all that black polished leather and a bit of horse harness. It's a very, very sensual, evocative wine. Imagine the smell of a living room with Zorro jumped through the window. It's not fat and syrupy like port. It's actually quite slender, but its flavours are very, very complex, tight and intense. It's bracing. And that makes me want wild boar, haunch of venison, all those really hearty, gamey, meaty dishes. I know that the smell of harness and leather may seem unusual, but this wine is full of it in the most exemplary, appetising manner. It's racy. It makes all my juices run. And as I say, big, mean, gamey fireside dishes, winter. A haunch of what we say woolly mammoth in a great big iron pot in the back of the coldest cellar in where? Scotland. Cold and wet. So don't forget, Dwayne Coates, 3 distinct wines, 3 distinct regions, all available from the one website. Just look up Coates, www, you know what to do. But well worth it. And $35 a bottle, that's a bargain.